Hello everyone, and welcome back to a special Anthwood Movie Mania because we are here in Redcar, and as you can see behind me, there is Redcar Beacon, and Zetland FM Radio have invited me to go live on air to talk about Anthwood Movie Mania. I'm super nervous but super excited at the same time, so let's do it.
26 minutes past 10. It's Friday, May the 15th. How are you? You all right? Good. Now, if you like movies, and particularly horror movies, I have the YouTube channel just for you. Anthwood is a Normanby lad who loves a scary movie. He loves movies in general, to be honest. And he's taken to social media to discuss them with others. The channel is called Anthwood's Movie Mania, and I'm delighted to say he's here to tell us more. Anth, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here. Right, I tell you what, before we get on to movies, let's talk about you first of all, because honestly, your channel is quite the success story, but we'll come on to that. So, Normanby lad, so where local, born and bred?
No, I grew up in Northamptonshire,
Right.
and then I moved up to Ormsby, and then I met my wife there, and then we've moved to Normanby.
Okay, and you've got a job? You do all
Yeah, so I work at Tesco. I do.
other supermarkets are available.
Not name dropping a brand there.
No. But
But
okay.
yeah, I do. I work part time, like for childcare and everything.
Okay, right. So right. Normal stuff going on behind the scenes. However, what you're doing is anything but normal, to be honest. So this Movie Mania channel, set the scene on that first of all, and then we'll delve a bit deeper into it. But tell us what the channel is. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I've always loved watching movies.
Yeah.
Like that's been my thing. And
from when you were a kid.
From pretty much when I was a kid. Like I've always loved going to the cinema. I remember going to the Odeon when it used to be like £2.50 a ticket.
Yeah. Wow, you've got a long memory.
Yeah, I used to love going to the Odeon, getting a king size Twix bar, kind of quick save Coke.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, I used to love just go. I mean, I remember seeing Batman Forever 5 times because it was that cheap.
Yeah.
Now it'd cost you about 50, 60 quid.
It's not too bad at the one behind us.
I know, yeah,
they're all right.
Yeah,
they're doing all right, the old Regent. But anyway, okay. So you love going? Did you go on your own? Go with your mates, or what was the?
Normally it'd be with my brother Jonathan, or my mum and dad, or it would be like with a couple of friends. But yeah, I've always loved going. Like that's one place that I've always loved to go is the cinema.
Yeah, it is a fantastic event, isn't it? When you go, it does feel like an event when you go in from the moment you go in the door.
Nice comfort. As soon as the lights go down, it's just getting.
So early days then, what sort of movies were you into?
Oh, pretty much everything. I mean, I love horror. That is me all over. But I love comedy, like The Naked Gun. Like I'm a big
class.
I love The Naked Gun.
I mean, let's be honest, best film ever, Airplane. I mean, I love Airplane.
What else? Comedy. Action. I love action films. Like I'm a big Stallone, Van Damme, Schwarzenegger, Steven Seagal. I love all them. I'm a massive Jackie Chan fan as well.
Right.
Like I don't know how many times I've watched all his films, like because he does his own stunts and everything. Like it's just something I love, like martial art films and everything like that. So it's just like pretty much a broad spectrum of just films in general.
But the horror thing, the horror genre. I mean, can you what drew you into that particular genre? I remember as a kid, I remember watching stuff like on the telly when I'm that old. They had Hammer horror movies on the telly, right? So, but obviously the stuff you watch is a bit more recent and probably a bit more gory.
So for me, I don't want to like put a bad thing on new horror because like there are some like great films, like new standard horror films out there. But for me, my horror timeline is from early 70s to the back end, like early 2000s, like in that gap between 70s to then, because there's just so many classic films. And now it's either like with today's horror, you either get like a great director who can like pull out them in film, or it's just reboots or sequels. And for me, like I don't like that. But like between then, like the 70s and early 2000s, you've just got so many like there's just a full endless list of like amazing films.
I mean, what are your favourites?
Oh, I would have to say Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween, as you can clearly tell.
He's got the sweatshirt on, gang.
Fright Night.
Right.
American Werewolf in London. Jack Nicholson's Wolf. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that film.
So these, as I say, horror covers a multitude of sins, doesn't it? And they can be really gory. But those ones that you've mentioned aren't particularly. They're more about what it does with your brain, the suspense.
Yeah, the suspense. I like the suspense and just dark alleyways. Like you don't know what's coming. It's not all about big jump scares. And
I was going to say you're not a screamer here when there is a jump scare.
No,
you keep it.
No, I hold my own.
I bet you've seen so many, you know what's coming, don't you?
To an extent, yeah. The one thing I don't like about new films is that when they release the trailers, they show everything in the trailer.
Right.
They show everything. Like, I'm a big fan of Halloween, but when I seen the trailer for Halloween 2018, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. But when you watch the film, in that trailer, everything is shot for shot, right through from start to finish.
Yeah.
Within that 2-minute trailer, so you knew.
So you know exactly what's coming. Yeah. It's just fleshing out in between.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, we've established you love your movies. We've established you like horror movies as well. So, but there's a big leap between that and what you're doing on YouTube. So, do you want to take us through that journey? How Antwood Movie Mania came to be then?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've always loved watching films and watching horror movies, and for a couple of years, I was watching people do it on YouTube, like podcasts and live streams, and just movie reviews in general. And then I just thought to myself, I love talking about movies to everyone. Why can't I just do that myself? And then that's how it started. And then I bought one thing as a collectible, which I told my wife. I said, this is just a one-off buy, and now I've got a full garage full of stuff.
Oh dear.
But I'm allowed a corner.
Ant's corner.
Yeah, that's my Movie Mania man cave.
Yeah. But how do you even go about doing something? I mean, did you know what you wanted the channel to be when you started it out, or has it evolved?
Yeah, so we're going back about 8 years.
I was going to say it's not just an overnight thing.
So I've been doing YouTube for at least 8 years, and the first video I ever did was I bought a Halloween a NECA figure diorama house, and then I tried to make a daft little 4 or 5 minute film shot of going around the house, putting Michael Myers there with police sirens on and putting the voiceovers from the film and everything. I mean, to be fair, it got 500 views off a 4-minute clip.
And your wife's thinking, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, she was she's not into anything that at all. She hates horror. So
she hates horror films?
She hates horror. We are
chalk and cheese with the old films. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we do watch loads of other films. We do love loads of other films, but horror is a no go for her.
Okay. But, so that was your first one, which got a few hundred views.
Yeah, and then I did a Halloween box set review. So there was this new website. I don't know if it was a new website, but they'd released an Italian Halloween DVD box set. And I got that online. When they first released it, it was £50. For all. How many films was it? I think it was nine films in the box set. And then as soon as I'd seen it, I was right, I'm getting that because I knew exactly what's going to happen. What people call online is called scalpers. So if they see something that's going to be worth something, they buy it for a daft price, and then they'll shut it on eBay for a ridiculous price. So now that box set on eBay and Amazon is £300.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is ridiculous.
Okay.
So as soon as I seen it, I knew what it was going to go for.
Yeah. And you reviewed that? Yeah,
I just went through it and I talked about each one. And
so where do you do your stuff then? In your garage or what?
So when I do my live interviews and everything, I do it in the house for the internet connection. But when I do my review, movie reviews or my collection videos or anything like that, I do it in the garage, the Movie Mania Man Cave.
The Movie Mania Man Cave. I tell you what, we will delve a bit deeper into the Movie Mania Man Cave and find out exactly what we can see if we go on your channel and join your vast army of subscribers, which is fantastic. And we'll just have a little break. I've got Antwood here with me. We shall have more in a moment. 10:41 Zetland FM. I've got Anthwood with me from Anthwood Movie Mania YouTube channel. It's all good stuff. We're talking about his movies, love of movies, particularly horror movies. I was wondering, in your opinion, difficult, but what makes a good horror movie? It's not blood and gore.
No.
Does that help?
To an extent, yes. What makes a good horror movie is you've got to have the right director and the right script, and it's got to be original. If you're just doing a remake, there has been like certain remakes that have hit the mark. For me, that have hit the mark, but other remakes that haven't. So, like, you've got the original Nightmare on Elm Street with Robert Englund. They tried to remake that, and it completely didn't go the way they wanted it to. They just completely went away from what the original stood for. And I don't want to diss it because I do like the film, but Rob Zombie's Halloween, like, they tried to delve into Michael Myers' past too much. They showed too much of his childhood, like, to make, like, they tried to make you understand why
Well,
he's
he did what he did,
he is.
yeah.
But the original, you see him as a kid for like about 10 seconds,
and that's all you need.
And then you don't understand like why he did what he did.
Well, that's probably good not to understand why he did what he did, because that makes it even more intriguing, doesn't it?
That's the whole point of like Michael Myers. You don't know what made him snap, but when they tried to remake it, they did that, and it just didn't make more sense.
Listen, let's talk about this this channel then. So, you've not just got a couple of hundred subscribers, have you? How many have you got?
At the moment, I am 9,600 something.
Wow,
something like
knocking on 10,000, which is fantastic. So what do you do? I mean, how often do you post, and how does it work then? Take us through the channel.
So I try to post at least one video a week. So sometimes one week I'll have to try and think of like a couple of videos at a time, to try and like knock them out like once a week. So sometimes I'll make like a month's worth in maybe a day or two. So like, but my videos are only like, the videos I make are like maybe 8 to 10 minutes long.
And what are they? The ones featuring you?
So I do movie reviews, collection videos. I did do quizzes at one point, like on horror films in general. But if I'm doing live streams, if I've got like other like podcasts on our YouTube, like Instagram people, then that might be like an hour to an hour and a half. But then I'll go into like live interviews with celebrities and everything.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I've seen a couple of where you're interviewing people that, I mean, I might not necessarily have heard of, but I bet horror genre fans have heard of. So you reach out to famous people within that.
Yeah, so character, obviously I'll just say character wise, because if I start saying it like proper names, then they might not get it. But some of the guests that I have on, like celebrity guests, I've had Ghostface from the original Scream, Leatherface from the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Judith Myers from the original Halloween.
How do you find them then?
So I'd say every like 2 months, I'll message about 20 people on Instagram, and I'll say, "Hi, my name's Anth from the UK. I have a YouTube channel called Anthwood Movie Mania. I'm wanting to do a live stream video. Would you be interested in coming on as a guest to talk about your career? If you would like to, let me know." And if they get back to me, they'll get back to me. If they don't, then it's like no loss.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly. No harm done.
Nothing lost.
Yeah.
But up to now, I've done 20 celebrity interviews.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, and luckily, fortunately, they've all done it for nothing.
Fantastic. They're my sort of interviews. So how do you prepare for something like that though? Because you must be buzzing, because you're speaking to people that have had a real influence on your life, I suppose, in a way.
So luckily, the people that I've interviewed, for most of them anyway, I've like watched their films like over and over again. So like,
so you know your subject, and they'll like that.
Yeah. So like, I know like, so I've got like a good idea on what questions to ask them like straight away.
Yeah.
But then I'll look up like what they've done before they got into them films, like about the past, like how they got into acting, like the careers that they might have wanted to take before going into acting. And
And presumably these are like over in America and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that most of the interviews are in America, so I have to work out the time difference. So the interview I did with Ghostface, that was at 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he was getting ready to go on a flight to do a horror con,
Okay.
and so like he said, oh, I can do about 40 minutes or something like that. So yes, I was like, right. I went to I finished work at 12 o'clock from where I work, and then I went to bed at 12, like half 12, and then I was up for half 3. I had to get everything set up. Out, my eyes were bloodshot.
Yeah. So how big is your audience then for an interview like that?
It depends. Like I've always said, ever since I've started doing this, I've always said if I can hit at least 100 views a video, then that's fine. Then that's me sorted. Like I'm happy with 100 views, and then I'll move on to the next one. But sometimes I might get 200, 300. One clip.
Because these aren't just 5 minutes, are they? These are quite
No,
lengthy interviews.
yeah,
You're going into some depth about the film
yeah,
and the
so
careers.
that's one of the reasons why I love doing these interviews, because if you go to like a Comic Con or a Horror Con event and you're paying to see these celebrities, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doing it. I love going to like places like this because I did it last year when I went away for the Love of Horror. That's like a massive event in Manchester.
Yeah,
They do like all the big celebrities go there, but that's how I got in touch with the person who done the
got
Ghostface.
you.
Like I went to the Horror Con, I was like, I got him to sign something. And I was like, "Oh, would you be interested in doing this?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." It was like, "Just message me like in a couple of months while I'm not busy." And then that's how we got that done.
But isn't that good that they follow through with it though?
Yeah,
You know, they
yeah,
could easily say yeah, and then you don't hear from them again.
yeah.
But
So I was like
that
over the moon with that.
that works fantastic. So where do you see it going then? What's next for Anthwood Movie Mania?
Honestly, I don't really know, because for me, just doing this YouTube channel, I just do it as a hobby. I do it for fun. I don't do it for money. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to do it for a bit of money. But I just do it for fun because I just like learning about people's careers,
Yeah.
like what they've done in the industry. I hear with all these interviews, I've heard loads of behind the scenes stories of like all these different films, like what's gone on, like drama behind the scenes, like might not get cast or anything like that. Like some of the stories I've heard is crazy.
And do they open up then?
Yeah, they're proper open up to me. Yeah, but and that's one of the reasons why I love it, because when you go to like these events and you see them like at the table, you might only get like 2 or 3 minutes to sign something. They like say hello and they might tell you a little something.
Yeah.
Like they'll answer like one of your questions, then they move on to the next person. But when I get this interview, I'm getting like a full hour with them. So yeah, so that's why I love doing live interviews.
Fantastic. So you're going to keep doing it and see where it goes.
Yeah, like hopefully I'll just keep building up the views, the subscribers. Like I am 200,000 views away from hitting 5 million.
Wow, that's quite the figure, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a few years ago when you started this up, if I had told you that was going to happen, you'd have said, joking, aren't you?
No, like I hit when did I hit it? I hit 4 million last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year I hit 4 million, and then I'm 200,000 away from hitting 5 million now.
Brilliant. So, right, anyone who wants to check you out, where can we go? What should we look for?
So I'm on multiple platforms. You can head over to YouTube for Anthwood Movie Mania.
Yeah.
On TikTok, it's Anthwood87, and Instagram, it's Anthwood87 again. In that, they will give you direct links to go to the YouTube channel.
Fantastic. Anth, great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Keep up the good work. We shall watch with interest. Fantastic. Yeah, when you make your first million, come back in and talk to us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
And there we have it. That was my full live interview here at Zetland FM. I've had an absolute amazing time going on live on air and chatting away about horror movies and the YouTube channel and everything else. As always, I am Anthwood Movie Mania. Please leave your likes, your comments, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.